Traders, on the back of the Fed announcements last night, we've had some crazy market moves. So let's try and make sense of it all and see if we've got some trades for today. Welcome to Simply Forex. If you want to improve as a trader, then you're definitely in the right place. Each week, I'm going to give you easy to follow trade ideas, tips, and advice so you too can succeed at trading. And if you stay till the end of the vid, I'm going to give you all of my trade ideas for today. And if that sounds like a plan, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button, and smash the like button. Gracias. Also, guys, I've got some really interesting things I want to share with you. And the main thing is how we cross-reference different currency pairs to make sense of the markets. And that's what we're going to do today. And it will show us what trade ideas we have today as well. It's really important to grasp this macroeconomic view that I'm going to talk about today. So let's start with the elephant in the room. Okay, if we go to the economic calendar, right, and we look at yesterday, it's all about all of this news coming out of the US, right? So the interest rate from the Fed was as expected. Okay, so no surprises there. Interest rates normally are, right? But whatever was said in the FOMC statement and the press conference, and also look at all of these interest rate projections, all slightly better than previously, right? Apart from that one, it's all led to a very strong US dollar, right? And you don't need to be Sherlock Holmes to see that in the charts, right? Look at this candle. That is a H4 candle, and that has moved literally 130, 40 pips, okay? So really strong US dollar reaction. And to be honest with you guys, this pound US, I was in this sell trade, saved my bacon a little bit for December. I was having a tricky month, to be quite honest. And this trade saved my bacon. Yeah, I'm happy US dollar strength was in the market, right? But so the reason for the US dollar strength was the Fed. Okay. Now, has that led to any trade ideas? Okay, so you need to understand that, a lot of these US dollar pairs are at weekly levels, right? So let's go to the weekly chart. Let's look at Euro US dollar, right? This is hitting a key weekly low. All right, let's go to Aussie dollar US dollar, right? This is hitting a very key weekly low, right? This was a weekly low from back in 2023, right? And it will prove to be a good level here. What kind of reaction we get, we don't know, right? But we will get a reaction. There will be buyers sitting in there. So some of the US dollar pairs don't equate into trades because of that reason. We're selling into support or selling into support or buying into resistance. We don't want to do that, right? So another one would be US dollar Swiss franc, right? If we look at the weekly chart, yeah, this is clearly a level and we don't want to buy into resistance. Bear with me if I sound full of cold. It's because I am full of cold. Again, Sherlock Holmes. So we need to be careful of that. But there are a couple of pairs like New Zealand dollar, US dollar, right? Which still has room to move into. So if we look at the weekly chart here, New Zealand dollar, US dollar still has room back down to this weekly low. Okay, so that would suggest this is a trade idea. But if we look at the day chart, right, and the weekly chart, there's no real value in here. Right, I would need quite a deep retrace before we start selling this. Another one is US dollar, Canadian dollar, right? We know there's this US dollar strength, right? We've spoke about it already. But, where can we take it, right? If we keep going left, we still have room, we still have room up to here with US dollar, Canadian dollar. I would suggest the 145,000 level. Okay, excuse me, guys, full of cold. I blame my daughter. But again, this is very overextended. right? So I'm not interested. But the one pair that I am interested in is pound US dollar, because this is, firstly, if we look at the weekly chart, it's not at our weekly support level as yet, right? We still have room to move into. Okay. And then also, if we go to the day chart, you know, we was already in a downtrend. Okay. If we just follow structure, right, we was in this downtrend as soon as we broke these lows, and then price retraced, and now we've had this big move down on the back of the Fed news, right? This big candle. But this is confirmation of a downtrend, right? We're getting lower highs, and now these lows have been broken. That's a continuation of trend. It's not over extended, not in the slightest. Look at the moving average 20, and we've got a nice amount of room to move into. So although we've seen this US dollar strength, the only trade I would be looking at today is pound US dollar sells, right? Now, that's one of my trade ideas for today. Now, what's really interesting is if we compare this with other pound pairs, okay? So a lot of these, like pound Aussie dollar, for example, look at that, right? Pound is super duper bullish, right? Okay. If we look at pound CAD, right? Okay, a little less so. We had a bit of a bearish candle, but super duper bullish, right? If we look at pound New Zealand dollar, that is flying. Okay. But what I want to show to you with all of these pairs is what I'm seeing here contradicts my pound US dollar sell idea, right? You know, if pound New Zealand dollar's flying, then New Zealand's weaker than the pound, and therefore perhaps New Zealand US dollar should be a sell trade. Bear with me. Okay, this is how I look at all 28 currency pairs and analyze them and use this as Confluence. And we spoke to this about Ravi, shout out to Ravi, in the VIP Trading Academy as well. Okay, now this is important, guys, right? Now, the thing here is we have a weekly level, right? That, believe it or not, this weekly level, which is holding so far, right, could still hold, right? I know you're thinking, Tom, are you mental? This is so bullish, but you could have a weekly candle that finishes like this, right? If we go to pound Aussie dollar, right, which is why I don't want to trade any of these pound Aussie dollar, pound New Zealand dollar, pound Canadian dollar pairs, because we're at a key weekly level. And again, this weekly candle could finish something like this and close back into this grey zone, right? As could pound Canadian dollar, right? It looks like we're breaking it at the moment, but, you know, we've still got today and tomorrow. We could end up with a candle that looks something like this, right? A good selling candle. So, and what makes this even more possible is this. If we look at the news today, let's go to today's news now. Today, right, we've just had the BOJ interest rate decision. Okay, so we'll have a quick look at the reaction there as well. But we've got the pound interest rate decision. So they're expected to keep it at 4.75. But this could have a huge impact on what happens to those dollar pairs. So again, although I like pound US dollar sells, it may not be a viable trade for today, or at least wait for this news to come out. And secondly, some of those overextended pound New Zealand dollar, pound Canadian dollar, pound Aussie dollar, this news could bring those firmly back into that weekly resistance level and therefore support my pound US dollar sell trade, right? So these are all the things I'm thinking about when I look at all of these 28 currency pairs that I look at every day. All right, and that's really important, guys. So this is a big Bank of England interest rate decision today, right? Because of my variable mortgage, I hope they reduce it to 2%. Can't see that happening. All right, but this is a big news day, right? We've just had BOJ Bank of Interest rate decision come out, and right? We've got US GDP later as well, and initial jobless claims, right? So it's a big news day again. So guys, yeah, I just wanted to let you understand that relationship with the pound and cross-referencing it with other currency pairs. And let me know your thoughts on the pound and the US dollar, guys, right? And if you like pound US dollar for sales, and please leave a comment below the vid and let us know what you think. Also, guys, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button and smash the like button. Also, guys, don't forget to join our trading community. It's free, right? You can speak to like-minded traders, share knowledge, ideas, problems, whatever you like. So come join our free Discord channel. It's free. Come in, verify yourself. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. Also, guys, as part of that, we do have the VIP Trading Academy. That's where I put all of my strategies, tutorials, trade signals. So if you want access to all of those, please come join the VIP. And finally, guys, I have some openings on my mentorship program. If you would like to be coached one-on-one with myself, then drop us an email and we'll send you the details of the mentorship program. Right, there's more I want to share today. I also like one of my trade ideas is US dollar, Japanese yen. Okay, so I also like this as a trade idea. Weekly, right, we are approaching this weekly level in here. We are, right? But I still think we potentially have room up to this 156. And yen is interesting at the moment, and I'm going to explain why as well. Okay, so weekly chart, right? Just looking at this weekly candle, we're above the moving average 20. Everything suggests we still have a little bit more room up to this 156. Okay, if we look at the day chart, we know we've had this US dollar strength come into the market. Look at that daily candle. And I would suggest we can at least take price, you know, back up to this 156 or at the top of this level here, right? I'm just going to take it to this last high here. So I would suggest there's room here as well. It's got US dollar strength. Yeah, potentially take price up to here. Now, another cross-reference that I always do to make sense of my trades and to add confluence to them is when I'm looking at yen, right, because it's a safe haven flight to safety currency pair, I will take a look at the indices and look at the state of the economy. And on the back of that Fed, look at the moves on the indices, right? There was an absolute bloodbath of a sell, right? This has broken daily structure, right? We've had a daily structure break. And look at that sell-off, right? What happened to the Santa Claus rally? This is more like the Grim Reaper's plummet of doom. You can coin that phrase. You know, we just had a massive sell-off. So when we get sell-offs like this, because yen is a flight to safety, right? This would suggest yen strength. So my US dollar yen buys, because I've cross-referenced it, doesn't make that much sense, right? Because of this massive sell-off. And again, pound US dollar makes more sense, right? And we've just had the yen news out as well. So let's just take a quick look at a yen pair and let's look at the hourly chart. Okay, so the reaction to the interest rate decision's been muted. Let's go back to the NASDAQ. All right, now big sell-off on the NASDAQ. If we go to the S&P, big sell-off on the S&P, but the S&P is at a critical support level, right? If it breaks through here, it has further to go. If this holds, we could see a retrace, right? And the Dow Jones, this has been selling off for, look at all those days selling. Bang, 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 right? Nothing but selling there. So My US dollar yen, the indices are dropping like stones. It makes my US dollar yen buy trade less attractive, although I still like it from a technical point of view. Yeah, and I still think there's room back up to here. And that's pretty much it, guys, in terms of my trade ideas. I do like a couple of things. I like Euro Swiss franc from a weekly point of view. Right, but we've had such a, we're getting this big bounce off at this key support level, but I cannot buy these daily candles, right? And we're in an uptrend, a daily uptrend. I also like Canadian dollar Swiss franc from a weekly point of view. If we look at the weekly chart, right, this was one of my trades in the weekly forecast at the start of the week. Right, big bullish candle. This potentially has room back up to here. But we look at the day chart, we're firmly in a downtrend. And again, the Swiss franc is a flight to safety currency. So the indices are dropping. Do I want to buy CAD Swiss franc and look, and basically trade Swiss franc weakness? The answer is probably no. So yeah, there you go, guys. I also want to mention one more thing. So this will be the last analysis vid of this year, but don't worry, yeah, because it's Christmas. Merry Christmas, everyone. We're going to have a couple of weeks off over Christmas, but to tide you over during Christmas, we're going to release a series of tutorials over the Christmas holidays, right? I'll be back trading on week commencing the 6th of Jan, right? And we'll do a weekly forecast then. But yeah, please check out all of our tutorials that we're going to post over the Christmas period. Some great education in there, guys, so check out those vids. I hope you all have a great Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, which means you can do what you like. Enjoy yourselves.